What's up, guys? Spenny. There is one J6er that I absolutely want the feds to catch. Yes, even in the Trump era. It's this guy. This is the January 6th pipe bomber. Very mysterious, 5'7", so he must be a Fed. You know what I mean? Short guys. And he is someone who has not been caught. Even though he placed the bombs at the RNC and DNC, presumably there'd be DNA evidence all over all of it. And the teams at the FBI that were tasked with tracking down this individual were able to use all of the cell phone data. He's on his phone like the entire time. He's like using a cell phone. Yet, and the carrier said that none of the data was corrupted, but the federal government says it was. Someone's lying. There's a preponderance of physical evidence that is, of course, available here. And it just obviously seems like this is the key to everything. If you're able to nab the pipe bomber, if the pipe bomber's working for the federal government, and if the pipe bombs were placed at these locations, the RNC and the DNC, in order to draw away Capitol Police from the Capitol so that it could be stormed and entrapped Trump supporters could riot there, which is what I personally believe happened. I believe that this was a Fed op, very sloppy one, but the Fed op gone wrong, and that they were just simply there to entrap Trump supporters. Kamala Harris went to the DNC. Nobody's ever explained this. She walked right by the pipe bomb. I believe that was an op too. That was something that was set up in order to make sure they could get a headline that Kamala Harris was some massive victim, right? The DNC pipe bomb op. They never needed that because January 6th, because they had so many feds, we've just learned that 300 different FBI agents were in the crowd and in the mob during January 6th. So they were just able to get their op done, and they didn't need the side story of the pipe bomb. And it was totally sloppy. Look at the amount of time that this dumbass is on the phone. Really? Really? It's the one phone record they can't get. They were able to arrest thousands of people based on cell phone data, but this is the one cell phone they just can't seem to identify. They're able to track all of his movements. We have now new footage like this of the pipe bomber. And it seems like there is a good faith effort to try and actually find the bomber here. Again, the agents who were tasked with this right after January 6th, this would obviously be one of the key people that you would want to find on January 6th. And this is like an actual terrorist, okay? Like that's what happened here. I am in favor of finding this person full-heartedly, right? But other people are not. Seems like the FBI, at least the former leadership of the FBI, definitely was not. They've released new surveillance video of the pipe bombs. They've upped the bounty to $500,000 to find this individual. The individual clearly knew what they were doing. No discernible features. You can see hands covered, face covered, even when they're walking down the street. Very strange stuff happened with this surveillance footage, by the way. And very strange stuff is still happening now, right? You have some of the people, some guys who've been on my show, who were working on this case saying that they were taken off of it once they were really close to identifying. They virtually knew who this pipe bomber was. They were really close to nailing him. And then as soon as they were about to drop in and get the suspect, they were called off. They were pulled from the assignments. My surveillance team was tasked with watching the person of interest with far more specificity common for our work. So they had actually even a person of interest ready to go with the J6 pipe bomber. And then they were pulled off the assignment. Would you look at that? Member of Congress, Tim Burchett, has told our show that he believes that the pipe bomber may be dead, actually. May have been killed. The way that the feds go ahead and kill people. Suicide. A couple shots to the back of the head, ruled a suicide. Yeah, Burchett knows more than most. Here's what he has to say. Now the FBI under new leadership and tutelage is saying, look, here's the pipe bomber suspect. Here's new video. It's only been 5 years, and here's some new video.
It's old video.
Mm-hmm. Old video. But here it is. And my question to you is, what the hell's going on here exactly? Why are we even having this conversation? Rand Paul was on yesterday, and he's like, oh, he was talking all about like tapping people's phones and how they can tap anyone's phones. They tap your phones. They tap all of his Senate colleagues' phones. They tap Lindsey Graham's phone. They spied on him. This seems to be the only guy in history that the feds are incapable of actually tracking his cell phone. It's really curious. The FBI does seem to, the current FBI does seem to want to find him, I think, right? And they've released new footage, new footage. What's the status here, Congressman?
My thoughts from the beginning was I think it's a Fed somewhere. This is a deep state. Will we ever find out? We'll probably find somebody dead who shot themselves in the back of the head 13 times and has admits that it's them. And it'll probably be somebody 6'5", And I've seen pictures of too many things that would lead me to believe otherwise of what it really is. This whole thing was a sham. You had how many, over 100 federal agents in the mob, encouraging people to go in. You had some good people caught up in it, and you had some dirtbags, and it was the perfect storm. And then lo and behold, you had the former speaker, who was the speaker at the time, was filming a documentary at the time. And the whole thing just stinks. It's one of those deals it's so far gone, I don't know if we'll ever know. And whoever knows is probably dead or sitting on some island somewhere with a fruity drink, enjoying a nice retirement. And I know you and I are conspiracy theorists, but dadgummit, we're modern day prophets. They ought to call this the Elijah Show. Because every time I'm on with you, we busted the honeypots. We've done it like 3 times. And people are like, and here they go. They're going to call me and say, Burchett, man, you can't be saying this stuff. And I say, it's the truth, though. And they go, we know it's the truth, but you can't be saying it.
You can tell that things are getting testy right now on this issue. There are people who are involved here that do not want you to know the truth. Very strange. And they're starting to lose their minds over this. They're getting like a little wobbly. And Nancy Pelosi is wobbly anyway. You can see that she's barely able to walk under her own power anymore. But here's the way that she responded when a reporter asked her about January 6th.
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you.
Cinema. I don't know, man. I don't know. They look guilty as hell. Republicans are launching new investigations about all this. Maybe they can get uncorrupted evidence. Maybe they can get the real evidence, the actual security footage from the DNC that isn't manipulated and so on. Be really nice. Be really nice to actually nab the true pipe bomber and understand the story there. I think that's the key to everything. If that person was a Fed or being paid by a Fed or being paid by a Fed informant or had any connection, then the whole thing unravels. The entire, like the Jenga block at the very bottom gets pulled. The key to everything. So I hope they find him. And I hope Tim Burchett isn't right for once. We'll see. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.